This is the second part of a tutorial to go from Creo parametric to a 2D flat layout like this, and then take it eventually to the laser graver. So what I'm going to do now is, this is the file that we've already saved, and I'm going to now go into Adobe Illustrator and bring this file into it to get it ready for the laser engraver. So into Adobe Illustrator, it's already started up, it'll be blank here. I'm going to go up to File, New, and all I'm going to do in here is underneath here, I've already changed the width previously, so width is going to be 24, height is going to be 12, usually it's default to do 8.5 by 11. Okay, so this matches the laser engraver, and I simply click OK, and the artboard comes up like this, and there's my 24 by 12. Then all I do is go File, Open, and I go to my directory, and I'm already here, and I look for the DXF file that I exported out in the last segment. So here it is, DXF. Okay, and I have another program on here called EvenView that recognizes it as an EvenView file, but it is a DXF file. Okay, and I just double click on it, and it'll say something about not all attributes will be brought in, and that don't worry about it. Just say OK. And then when it says artwork scale, make sure it's the original size because you want the scale 1:1. Okay, and you hit OK, and it will come in. And right now it's just zoomed in, so I'm just going to come down to the bottom here and go Fit on Screen, and you can see the whole file now that matches the Creo, right? So the next step here is simply I need to delete a few things. So if I go back to Creo, you can see there's a border here. Okay, well that border was brought in. So go back to Adobe Illustrator. So if I click down here, you can see the red highlights, and I'm going to delete that line. There'll be one on the left, delete it, or one at the top there, delete it. And one right over here, you can highlight it, and I'll delete that one too. So those 4 border lines are now deleted. The next step is the laser engraver likes the color red, and it also likes the size of these lines to be 0.001 of an inch. So I'm simply going to highlight the entire thing. And let me just go, I'll probably scroll off the screen there, highlight everything. And first off, let's do the color. So I'm going to come up to here on my colors of my borders or my lines. And all I'm going to do is double click on this black. And my swatch options come up. And down here, you can see right now it's color black because the RGBs are all 0, 0, and 0. I'm going to take the R and put it all the way to 255, which means it's a pure red. And click on OK. So there my color red is done. And under stroke here, I just need to change this to be 0.001. Not 0.01, not 0.02, but it's 0.001 of an inch, and it has to be that. And just hit enter. Okay, so now you can see my color red, my line or my stroke here is 0.001. Just click anywhere else, and you can kind of see it's all red now. Okay, so I'm ready to print. I go File, go to Print. And it's going to default here, probably 8.5 by 11 paper. So what I want to do is change this up here to printer to my laser engraver. Now you can see it's the full size, 12 by 24. And I simply hit print. Now it disappears, and I got to go to my last piece of software, which is the laser engraver software. Come down the arrow down here for my icons, and I'm going to grab the Universal Laser System control panel. And you can see here it's been brought in. It's all in red. If this was black, it didn't work. You had the wrong sizes or something else went on. Bottom line is it's red, it's good. Okay, my next thing is I need to go and actually find the settings, because depending on the material, my settings are for cutting out on the laser engraver will differ. The easiest way is to go to my website, and here are the tutorials that you'll be finding this video under. And if I scroll down here, there's engraver settings. Here's some generic settings that I use. Okay, so we're going to use, let's say, for example, acrylic, and I'm cutting the acrylic. So therefore, the acrylic cast here, those are the settings right there. I'll explain them in a second. Okay, but power 100, speed 3.5, PPI is 1000. So we'll just remember those. We'll go back into our laser engraver software. Come down here, click on, oops, let's get that out of the way. Click on settings. And there's a materials database of basic settings here, depending on what you're cutting. These are some numbers that you can work with. So for example, if I'm going to go to plastic, there is settings for ABS, you double click it, but there's a lot of complicated stuff in here. So I kind of avoid this stuff for you guys, especially when you first get going. So the easier way is to go to manual control, and there's 3 colors in here. Okay, black is for kind of engraving, not cutting through. There is no black in your project right now, so we'll ignore it. There's no blue, but there's red. So we'll click on red, and we'll take power, 100%. That means the laser is at 100% full power. Okay, speed, remember from the settings before, it's about 3.5. And then PPI stands, and the speed basically, let's go back to speed. It is basically how fast a laser is moving on the track. And finally, PPI stands for pulses per inch. How many times a laser beam hits in 1 inch? So it's going to be at 1,000. And then I just hit set. And those the numbers there. That should go through 1/8 inch acrylic. And I would hit OK. And then the last thing to do would be to hit the start button, which is not on here right now. It should be right here where my mouse is, because I'm not hooked up to the laser engraver. And you just have to focus it manually, and that is the last thing that you'd have to do. That is a part of another tutorial that is right on the website. There is how to focus the laser engraver and actually pressing cut. Basically, you turn it on, you focus it, and then you press the screen button, and away you go. So I'm going to stop there. That's the final of the tutorial. The last section, as I said, or the last bit, is to actually cut it out, and we're done.